learning how to adult. It's usually not a very popular subject, but adulting is something that we all struggle with. If I'm struggling with adulting and I'm 73, and my kids struggle at the 30s, and brand new sober people run the gamut from 20s to 60s. So, and one of the things we struggle with is just basic adulting. And I think the really good thing to do, it's not a good thing to think that you have to go to kindergarten, but I probably could have used it, a reminder. I mean, sometimes people in AA talk about it. People in church pontificate about it, but the basics of adulting. In other words, when you're an adult, there isn't somebody to give you a lollipop. You got to do what you got to do. It's a hard thing for my guys in the house to learn that if you come, you got to pay rent. No, there's not like you don't have a pass on the rent. A lot of people drink and use and kill themselves because they can't adult. They can't grow up. And so I have to talk about adulting. And what in the world is adulting? If you're an adult and you're a parent and stuff like that, chances are you got some of the pieces together. In other words, there's nobody else to do it. You can't depend on somebody else to do it. You have to, it's a little bit about boundaries too. You know, what am I responsible for? We talked a little bit about boundaries. As an adult, what am I responsible for? What are the things that I can't shift off on somebody else? You know, that's boundaries. We have to learn what is our responsibility. And we can't get resentful when somebody doesn't do what we're supposed to do. And a lot of times we do get really resentful if somebody sets a boundary and says, no, that's not my job, that's your job. And we get really upset about that. So, you know, we got to sort of say, what's adulting? You know, and a lot of things that I run into in a house are that can't manage money. Nobody's either A, taught them, or B, they've learned to manage money the street way. In other words, they operate their finances like a drug dealer operates his money. In other words, he gets you know, big pockets full of stuff, and he goes out in the street and he hands some stuff to somebody else, and they give him a wad of cash, and he puts it in another pocket, and so he empties one pocket and fills the other pocket with cash, and then he gets done during the day. He counts it up and they divvy it up however they're going to divvy it up. And obviously there's no books, there's no responsibility to keep track, because that's the whole point. You don't want a record of what you do. And I've found that people in the house, you know, who basically a lot of drug addicts, and they come from they've grown up in operating in a criminal atmosphere, and so a lot of people operate, you know, like a drug dealer. They get money in and they put money out, and they have no clue, they have no record of what it is or what it is. A lot of times in the house, it's a perennial problem. Well, I gave you money. I know I gave you money last week, and I give you money every week. Well, not exactly. You give me money every once in a while in random times, and you never write it down, and it's straight cash in, cash out, so you have no record of what you wouldn't have a clue. You know that your boss gave you money, and there's no record a lot of times of that money, and you got a wad of cash, and if I'm last in line that week, then I get whatever's left, and I have to keep track of the money, and then I have to go to them and say, hey, you're short. And they say, what do you mean? I gave you money every week. Yeah, you gave me money every week. You didn't count it, you didn't record it, and you don't have any clue what you gave me. You just have an idea that you gave me something like what you should. But they have no idea what they gave me. You know, adulting is keeping track of that stuff. You know, a lot of times they've never had a bank account. Again, it's a drug dealer's operation. Money in, money out. You know, there's no records. You know, most of the guys don't have records of anything like that. You know, so it's adulting is, you know, making a commitment and paying your bills. You know, lawbreakers don't do that. They take what they can take. They give whatever they feel like it, and the breakage is somebody else's problem. That's not adulting. That's not adulting at all. They go into relationships, and they keep track of the relationships by, okay, cash in, cash out. You know, do I feel like I'm getting more out of it than I'm putting into it? You know, that's not adulting. That's grade school, schoolyard type of stuff. You know, well, I gave you this and I traded that, and it was boo-hoo. You know, they have no idea. They have no records. They don't keep records. You know, if you're in early recovery and stuff like that, chances are you're struggling with adulting. You know, do you give your word and keep your word? Do you pay your bills? Do you manage your money correctly? In other words, do you only commit to what you can afford, or do you just simply get a wad of cash and throw it all out and then go boo-hoo and expect everybody else to catch the slack? You know, generally speaking, you know, an active addict, that's the way they roll, or an active drunk, that's the way they roll. You know, you do what you do, you get what you need, and then let everybody else pick up the pieces. And then as addicts sometimes, and drunks, we sometimes wonder, why do they need to go to Al-Anon? They got to go to Al-Anon to sort of deal with that perpetual, you know, pull, and you know, your heartstrings are getting pulled, and you're getting manipulated, and you're always giving, and then you're constantly disappointed. And a lot of times adulting is trying to be like a civil human being, a decent human being. You know, not a saint, a decent human being. Your word is your bond. You pay your bills. You carry your load. You help people when you can. That's adulting. You clean up your space. You know, that's adulting. You know, and you'd be surprised. You know, some people out of addictions, they never learn to adult. They never learn to take responsibility for their own stuff. You know, and they never learn the benefit of reaching out and helping. But sometimes, you know, if you're a family member of an addict, sometimes helping is not helping. You know, because they must learn to adult. They must learn to carry their own weight. They must learn to do that. You say, but if they get upset, they're going to go out and score, and then they're going to be face down on the street. That, unfortunately, is absolutely true. You know, but unfortunately, recovery is an adulting process. That's what it is. It's learning to be an adult without using. All using is you know, drugging the feeling of not being an adult and taking care of our own business. So, if you're an addict and you're new, you got to learn to adult. You learn to take responsibility for your stuff. Work your job, pay your bills, you know, deal with the reality of paying your bills. Don't try to get over on everybody, and try to carry your own weight. That's it. You know, if you're in recovery, you go to meetings, don't drink, go to meetings, don't use, go to meetings, work the steps, work recovery, you know, be a help and not a hindrance, you know, be a blessing and not a curse. You know, that's the beginning of asking for help and getting better, because you're learning to adult. You might be 45 and an addict. You've been an addict all your life. And I say adult. You say, I am an adult. No, you're a 12-year-old in a 50-year-old body, and you're going to have to catch up a little bit. Swallow your pride and start learning how to adult. And that's sort of my piece on adulting.